How's it going, YouTube? Got FourthStarTCG here, and today I have another video on the Pokemon TCG Online. Hopefully going to be splitting my videos on the TCGO and my videos on my collection and other sort of physical TCG related stuff over the summer. But today I have an absolutely amazing deck profile to go over. This is probably one of the more fun decks that I've built in a while, and I'm so happy. I built this in like 10 minutes, threw it up on the ladder, and won. I'm super high on the I think my elo is very high because I've been like totally grinding the ladder with like super meta decks. I've been using I've been using Yveltal, I've been using Volcanion, yeah, just like all sorts of super meta decks and going really hard on the ladder, hoping to pick up that full art N. But today, and so yeah, I went up against like this super meta Volcanion list, and I was able to come away with the win, which I was super happy about. But here it is, we're playing Solgaleo Ho-Oh, which I don't think anyone will have ever thought would do well together. Nobody thought Ho-Oh EX would do well, but we have a ton of cards here. There's so many different cards, and let's get into it. So I'm sure you guys don't even know what Ho-Oh does, so here we go. We'll go over it. Ho-Oh EX, it's from Breakpoint. It has 180 HP, a colorless Pokemon. The ability is Purifying Fire. Once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon has any basic fire energy attached to it, you may heal 50 damage from it. Which is kind of pointless because when you see the attack cost, it requires a grass, a water, and a lightning. Elemental Feather does 130 damage, and then it does 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So when this came out, it was terrible. Everyone loved the artwork on the full art, but nobody ever used this in an actual deck, maybe besides some expanded Ho-Oh double Ninja Boy shenanigans. This was never played, and I haven't, like, normally I'll play all full art cards and such, but I haven't because this is just a fun deck profile. But yeah, so this card, it's terrible, never play it on its own, but when we play it with Solgaleo, we're playing 3 Ho-Oh EX and a 4-2-3 Solgaleo GX line. We can we can use Soul Burst GX to power up our Ho-Ohs, and we can search for those 3 very specific energy cards, and we can throw a basic fire on it if we need to. So the idea of this deck is that you attack with Ho-Oh, you get it charged, you get out your Solgaleo GX early game, you Soul Burst GX, you power up your Ho-Ohs, and then your Ho-Ohs, which have Fighting Fury Belt, and with a Fighting Fury Belt, they're 220 HP. They're healing damage every turn. You can switch around with Solgaleo's Ultra Road right here. So once you power up 2 Ho-Ohs, you pretty much won the game. Now, of course, usually you'll have 4 energy on a Ho-Oh, just so you can attack and heal. It's difficult to attach that 8 energy, but once you have it, you can go back and forth in between your Ho-Ohs. You heal, you attack, you heal, you attack. Maybe you can sponge some hits with Solgaleo, but the deck is very mobile thanks to Solgaleo's Ultra Road, and I think this combination of everything, and we also play Rainbow Energy, so if absolutely necessary, we can attack with Solgaleo GX. Yeah, so this is just... everything fits together to make this deck barely viable. This is not a top tier deck. This will not win any tournaments, but it's super fun to play. I love my fun decks. I've sort of not been able to do them lately because it's with the ladder and everything just being so meta right now, I haven't been able to play these fun decks. But so that's sort of the overview of the deck, and let's get into the cards. We just play 1 Enhanced Hammer. That's fairly standard now to help us against stuff that plays special energy. 1 Professor's Letter. This isn't being played a lot lately, but we do play it in this deck just to search out those 2 basic energy cards if we need a specific type of energy. We play 4 different types of basic energy plus rainbow energy, so sometimes you really need 1 specific energy. Professor's Letter can help you out with that. 3 copies of Rare Candy in order to evolve our Solgaleo straight from Cosmog, 1 special charge to help us get back our Rainbow Energies if somehow those get discarded, 1 Super Rod to bring back Pokemon and Energy, 4 Trainers Mail for consistency, 4 Ultra Ball with our 1 Secret Rare Shiny Ultra Ball, again for consistency, 4 VS Seeker. I'm in the process of blinging out my VS Seekers. I was actually able to pull a Shaman from a Roaring Skies pack, so now I traded that for packs, and now I'm trading all those packs to get some gold VS Seekers. 2 Parallel City. This can be very helpful versus stuff like Rayquaza, Volcanion even, lower their bench size. Parallel City is just a great stadium. It's splashable in any deck that really doesn't... Parallel City and Silent Lab are like the 2 really splashable stadiums in any deck. Of course, we don't want to run Silent Lab in this deck because our Ho-Oh is a basic Pokemon and it has an ability, so we don't want to shut that off. We play 2 copies of Lysander to pick out stuff from the bench. 2 copies, very essential in this deck list. I thought about playing 1, but then I realized that Elemental Feather, with doing that 30 damage, that can bring a lot of things in range. You really don't want to be overextending with that. You want to be able to bring up things that you want to hit. We're playing 2 copies of N, again fairly standard supporter, 1 copy of Olympia just in case we just auto lose to Garbodor pretty much. If anything's running Garbodor, stuff like Mega Mewtwo, we just auto lose to it, but what's a fun rogue deck if it doesn't auto lose to something? But yeah, so Olympia is there just in case like they get out a late game Garbodor and they lock a Solgaleo in the active or something, because it does have a 3 retreat cost, and we do not play any type of switching cards other than Olympia. Yeah, so that's why we play Olympia. 4 Sycamore, fairly standard in any deck. We play 1 copy of Skyla. We have a lot of 1-ofs in this deck. Stuff like Enhanced Hammer, Professor's Letter, Special Charge, Super Rod, our Olympia. A lot of these 1-of trainers, Skyla can really help out with that. If you need to Skyla for a Rare Candy, that can be very helpful as well. Skyla for a Fighting Fury Belt, that can also help. Again, not played in a lot of decks, but we played in this one. 3 copies of Fighting Fury Belt, just a very important card in order to keep Ho-Oh living. We play 4 Rainbow Energy. This is the only way that we can use Soul Burst GX. I don't play Metal Energy because there's absolutely no point in playing Metal Energy because we can't attack with it. So we play Rainbow Energy to fulfill the Steel Energy requirements for Solgaleo GX, and then we play 2 basic Fire, 2 basic Grass, 2 basic Lightning, and 2 basic Water. So we play 12 energy, quite a bit of energy. But yeah, so this deck profile, man, it's so much fun. It's just wonderful. Now, because I'm I think my ELO's pretty high, I think we're going to be running into a lot of meta decks. So yeah, here's Volcanion right here, most likely. And that's pretty hard because our Solgaleos are weak to fire, so they can just Lysander those. But I was able to beat Volcanion. Of course, we get a Shaman start with probably the worst hand ever. So unless we see Enhanced Hammer, and yeah, just standard Volcanion stuff. If we get maybe an Ultra Ball, a Cosmog, but they do only mulligan once. But, okay, we got a Ho-Oh. That's okay, we'll throw that down as we see the Volcanion. Okay, we do have the Skyla, and this is why we play it. So we are going to Skyla for the... Goodness, we should probably Skyla for the Ultra Ball. And then what do we discard? We discard these 2, throw down a Rainbow Energy, grab a Shaman, yeah. So we'll Skyla for the Ultra Ball. We'll drop Lysander and a VS Seeker. We're going to grab the Shaman EX, and we're going to throw this down here, and we're also going to throw down the Rainbow Energy here as well. And we are going to Shaman for 4. We play 4 Cosmogs. There's an Olympia. Another Ultra Ball would be nice. We do have the Sycamore. Okay, there's the rare candy. So, yeah, because I'm going to draw a card next turn. Okay, so Volcanion's going to go off, but if they don't end us, we have VS Seeker for Skyla for Ultra Ball. We Ultra Ball away Olympia plus whatever we draw next turn. Grab a Cosmog and throw it down. So we see Volcanion going off as it does. And yeah, I suppose we could play Max Elixir in this list, but we already have the Energy Acceleration from Solgaleo. I feel like it would get very clunky. So we are going to Trainer Mail here. Get another VS Seeker. I think I just have to Sycamore here, which means I probably shouldn't have taken that VS Seeker, but we're just having fun here. Okay, so we're going to throw that down. We got nothing off of this top deck, which really stinks. Really stinks. He Sycamored all of that away and got a worse hand. But this is a very rogue deck, and they're going to Sycamore a lot away here too. You see them losing an Escape Rope. They haven't gone too off yet, but we play 4 Cosmos. We've drawn through half of our deck, over half of our deck, and we haven't seen any of them. So that is fairly rough. Normally that won't happen, as they're going to grab their Hoopa here. And Scoundrel Ring up. Finding many more EXs. So, another Steam up, so that's going to kill our Shaman, which is unfriendly. But what we can do next turn is Lysander the Hoopa. They've already played 2 Floatstone. I don't know if they play 3. I wouldn't play 3 in Volcanion. I play like 2 and an Escape Rope, and they've already used their Escape Rope, so who knows. I ran into a Volcanion list. I lost the game because they played 2 Lysander, 4 VS Seeker, and which is fairly standard. I don't want to Parallel City them. Okay. And now we are going to... yeah, we're going to Lysander out the Hoopa. And we really don't have any choice but to... I can now force them to get rid of a Shaman plus something. Or I can reduce their damage. I'm going to reduce their damage. I feel like that's smart. We do have a bench space left. And we're going to Elemental Feather for 140. And we're going to hit this for 30. So, hopefully that Hoopa will stay in the active. I believe they play Olympia. Yes, they do. So, and they haven't played any VS Seekers, so they could have that. But we do have 210 HP, so getting all the way up to 210 with this is going to be a little bit difficult. But then again, we don't have our Solgaleo out. We don't have our second Ho-Oh out, so he could very easily get out of this. Shouldn't be that difficult, but I'm hoping we draw like an N. An N would be very nice. End him down to 4 cards, give us 6. Hopefully we get out our Solgaleo. Really stinks that we weren't able to get that out early game. Normally you do, I mean, playing a 4-2-3 line, normally you start with Cosmog, but, or well, balance of probabilities, you should start with Cosmog. Oh, and we get kicked off. Okay, well that stinks. So I don't know if that's a loss for us or what. Yeah, we'll check our versus. Ooh, lovely. All of our decks are gone. Pretty sweet. Okay, so sometimes this happens, but I just have to go through and save it. And okay, so it really stinks that we got kicked off that first game. Okay, so now we're not now we're going up against Turbo Dark, which is usually plays Garbodor, so we've lost. But we do go first. We do go first, so. And we get a nice start. Get a Cosmog and 2 Ho-Ohs. So this could be our game. This could be our game. Okay. So I am going to Sycamore here. There's no way we pull Rare Candy off the top deck. Yeah, so I don't want to show him N. We have an N already. So we'll take Enhanced Hammer. But okay, things are looking good for us for the first time in a while. We see the Dark Energy. Trainer Mail. There's no way he can kill us this turn. We're good. I know we're good. This'll be our first, like, this'll show off what the deck actually is meant to do. Not lose to Volcanion. Okay, so we see Sycamore here, which drops a Center Lady. That could be annoying. Center Lady could definitely be annoying. But Turbo Dark, we could be able to pull off the win. Our healing is such an important factor in this game. He grabs another Darkrai EX. Throws it down. Max Elixir. And before Energy Switch. No. Another Max Elixir. Whiff it. Whiff it. Whiff it. No. And our turn. Lovely. Okay, so no N. We drop Shaman and Enhanced Hammer. They are useless. Solgaleo. Turn 2 Solgaleo. This is how this deck is supposed to work. Turn 2 Solgaleo. Rare Candy. Into our Solgaleo, we throw our Fighting Fury Belt down. We throw that down. We N. He does only have 2 cards in his hand, but I'm sure there was a draw supporter in there. He wouldn't have Ultra Balled for this Darkrai if there wasn't. And we are going to Soul Burst GX, and we're going to find Grass, Water, Lightning, and we're going to throw a Rainbow and a Grass onto our Solgaleo because it doesn't look like he's going to be one-hit KOing us anytime soon, so we could swing for some knockouts if we have to. Try to attack with Ho-Oh because that's our... This isn't a Solgaleo GX deck. I do have another one of those. If you haven't seen it, go check out my Solgaleo GX deck video. But Yeah. We see the Hex. That could be painful. If he hexes us here. EXP share, Fighting Fury Belt. Yeah, so there's the Hex, which basically just means that this is 220, yeah. All that means is that we have to kill him with our Solgaleo instead of our Ho-Oh. So we're just going to Sunsteel Strike here, pick up the knockout. Ideally I would have gone into Ho-Oh, but we had to KO this, and he hexed away our Ultra Road, so we couldn't do that. But we are going to take our 2 prizes here, and this is Solgaleo Ho-Oh putting in work versus a top tier deck, and this is what I wanted to show off. So I'm very happy that we have this game here. We see a Shaman for 3. Another Ultra Ball here, dropping 2 Darkness Energy. Ooh, that's painful. I would assume we'd see an Yveltal here. With 5 Dark Energy already in the discard, I would hope. Maybe it's prized, that's why it's taking so long for him to grab it. Yeah, so we do see an Yveltal, but it's an Yveltal EX. Not a regular Yveltal. But now we see Seeker for Sycamore. Yeah, I would assume. So Sycamore is going to come down here. There's the Yveltal. I would have gotten that out before the Yveltal EX. Silent Lab. Painful. We do have the our 2 parallel cities, and we haven't played any of them yet, so Dark Pulse will hit us for 80 damage here. And we're going to Special Charge, shuffle those 2 energy back into the deck. And throw this down here. We're going to Ultra Road into our Ho-Oh. If TCGO processes it. And I could Lysander here. But I don't think that's the best play, because the Shaman isn't a threat, you know? And that's going to be available all game. The Shaman's not a threat, so I don't really need to take that out right now. So we could Lysander out our, or Olympia into Yveltal, but this dies to an Elemental Feather. Yeah, so Evil Ball is going to hurt us and do 140 damage. Finding our Stadium would be nice. We have Skyla in the discard? No. So we're going to throw that energy down there. Yeah, again, killing this is just the best play. I want to save that Lysander for next turn. In case we get End. Again, do we have a Lysander in the discard? No. So best play is Ultra Ball away. Lysander and Sycamore. Grab something like a Cosmoem. And let's just, yeah, grab something like Cosmo and keep it in our hand just in case we get hit by a Delinquent. Yeah, so we're going to Elemental Feather, and this Darkrai dies to anything. I see Veltal will die to anything. I guess we'll hit the Shaman then. So the Darkrai is going to take an energy, but this Ho-Oh is all ready to go. And we thin down our hand just in case of the N. We've got how many VS Seekers? We should have 4 VS Seekers, so our VS Seeker for Lysander is now live. And if he attacks with this, it's just game. Unfortunately, we didn't show off the healing aspect, but yeah, so he's not going to be able to really do anything. He didn't end us, so I think that's just game for us. Finally, we're able we get a win with Solgaleo Ho-Oh. Man, that's awesome. So that is pretty sweet, taking down a top tier deck with Solgaleo Ho, and it does show you that if this deck sets up in the way it's supposed to set up, it can do things. So well played to my opponent, and I'm not going to be one of those guys. Like, I could throw the Parallel City, heal all of my Pokemon up. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. We're just going to Lysander and Elemental Feather for game. So, we are able to 6-0 Turbo Dark with Solgaleo Ho, so that's pretty darn sweet. So I'm glad we were finally able to get that win. I'm probably going to edit it so that all the games I played with Volcanion, maybe there's only one game versus Volcanion in there. But thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stick around for more videos.